Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Talking Politics.
This week we'll start with the aftermath of the recent Bangkok gubernatorial election, whose results we all know. Chadchart Sittipunt is back at the City Hall for his second term. But the bigger question is what kind of impact that the elections, the Bangkok governor elections and the election for the city councillors have on the bigger picture of Thai politics.
And today we're going to unpack it for you. So let's start with this footage. This is Chadchart with his signature jump. Now, he has all the reasons to jump for joy last Sunday. In Thai, we have an idiom called non ma. Non ma, which means that one is sure to win effortlessly.
Literally translate sleeping all the way to victory.
Yeah, so all the polls leading up to the election projected that Chadchart would win, and yes, he won by 1.5 million votes, despite a very low voter turnout of about 50%, because it rained that day as well. Yeah, so 1.5 million votes is a number that also broke his old record of 1.3 million votes back in 2022.
The votes, I mean, of course, contradicted earlier expectations, right? Because of the low turnout. So not many people expect Chadchart to even, keep the level of the support he received 4 years ago. So. But we have to admit that Chadchart has a very broad appeal, which stems from his ability to connect with voters across the political spectrum. He's a former transport minister in the Yingluck administration and is familiar to voters aligned with the Pheu Thai camp, which was the core of the coalition back then. And at the same time, his liberal-leaning image has resonated with many supporters of the People's Party. And as a former professor at one of Thailand's leading universities, Chadchart also enjoys credibility among Bangkok's urban elites and the more conservative voters. His personal charisma and relatively non-partisan image have enabled him to attract a diverse range of supporters.
Think universal adapter.
So Chadchart will return to the City Hall for another 4 years, and some political observers have already started speculating about his political future. And
already?
Yeah, that's right, already, because the Bangkok governor is limited to 2 terms, right? And this is his second term. And most political observers believe that Chadchart will be aiming for a bigger political role after his second term ends in 2030. And one of the observers has even suggested that the governor will most likely set up his own political party to run in future elections with himself as a potential prime ministerial candidate. Now back to the aftermath of the Bangkok gubernatorial election.
I guess the results are pretty much predictable, but what is more interesting is the candidate who came second in this race. We're talking about Mallika Boonmitrakul or Kun Ting. She scored 304,000 votes on Sunday.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, which is over 100,000 votes more than Chaiwat Sathawonwichit, who is the People's Party candidate, who got 188,000 votes. So we say it's interesting because the People's Party won all 33 seats in Bangkok in the general elections early this year, which when it comes to the Bangkok governor's seat, they came third. Why?
That's a big question that I'm sure that people in the People's Party have been trying to find an answer to.
Yeah, they have to do a bit of soul
I believe
searching.
that they must still be in the state of soul searching.
Well, political observers say that they were out of their league, fielding Chaiwat or Dr. Jo as the People's Party candidate. According to a Thai PBS senior political editor, he said this was a strategic miscalculation from the outset because Dr. Jo is an academic. He is speaking and campaigning style is entirely academic, which contrasts sharply with the more charismatic, seasoned approach of veteran politicians like Chadchart Sittipunt and Mallika Boonmitrakul.
Now, as we reported in our last week's special edition, right, covering the elections, The gubernatorial election in Bangkok was predictable. The result was predictable from the outset, right?
Yes.
Chadchart and had been the favorite all the way through. But if there was to be any surprise, it was how Kun Mallika, the lady you just mentioned, how she performed in the election.
Yeah.
Because until at least 2 weeks before the election, Mallika, who is a former journalist and a social media influencer, was seen as just another fringe candidate. And the general feeling at the time was that she was loud, combative, and with some bold ideas. And that's all. She has no governance experience, no records of tangible achievements. And most importantly, unlike her rivals from the two parties, the Democrat and the People's Party, she has no real electoral base in Bangkok.
So she did well. I mean, all of a sudden, pre-election opinion polls began to defy her skeptics. And as Bangkokians prepare to go to the poll, her electability rating continued to surge, with some of the polls even suggesting that she could give former Governor Chadchart, the election favorite, a tough ride. And in the end, Mallika was far from rivaling Chadchart's 1.5 million votes, but she certainly gave political observers a lot to ponder.
So what emerged from the election is the question as to how could an independent candidate like Mallika was able to upend her rivals from well-established political parties. One of the answers from political analysts is that Mallika's likability far surpassed that of her competitors. With her no-holds-barred style of communication, she was direct, straightforward, and down-to-earth with her campaign messaging.
She's even good at dancing. She dances on some of her videos.
That's right, because already she was, from the start, I mean, she's a well-known social media celebrities, right? And she does have a large following on the social media platforms. And she didn't hesitate to use all the social media tools she had in her hand to reach her audiences. Every stop on the campaign trail was aired live on social media platforms.
Mallika campaigned on the slogan, Human Innovation for Change for a Better Future. So focusing on using technology, especially artificial intelligence or AI, to solve problems facing Bangkok and improving people's lives. And she also pledged to make Bangkok an e-commerce hub and promote the city as an around-the-clock street food paradise.
Her earlier career was in the media, as we just said. She worked as a reporter at ITV, Thailand's first independent broadcaster, before becoming a television host and a news presenter herself. Mallika, in fact, was a member of a national cycling team.
Wow.
And she is also known as a gun enthusiast. So
Okay.
be careful if you want to cross paths with her.
And with a doctorate in social innovation from Rangsit University, Mallika entered politics by joining Mahachon Party before moving to the Democrat Party. And she served in various advisory posts before becoming a party list MP of the Democrat Party in 2022. And then a year later, she resigned from the party and became active as a political commentator, live stream host, and online content creator, including through Mallika Show and appearances on Thai political programs.
But besides her own talk show, Mallika, who is 53, is also a very popular interview guest whose combative style won her considerable following. At the height of the Thai-Cambodian border conflict last year, Mallika played on ultra-nationalist sentiment in her numerous commentaries. And on various occasions, she called for decisive military actions against Cambodia to eliminate what she described as its threat to Thailand. And at one point, she called for the decimation of Cambodia's military and the elimination of its leadership by bombing the home of its Prime Minister, Hun Manet. and that of his father, Senate President Hun Sen.
That's quite an extreme view. Mallika's sudden surge in popularity not only came as a surprise, but more importantly, has raised questions as to why she was able to outtrace the People's Party in its own turf. I mean, Bangkok is supposed to be a major powerhouse of the Reformist Party.
Yeah.
It swept all the 33 MP seats up for grabs in the last general elections earlier this year.
But unfortunately, the support that the party got in the last general elections did not translate into enough support for the party to win the governor election last Sunday. So how can we explain this? Some political observers believe that the voting behaviors of Bangkokians differ from those in constituencies outside the capital. Bangkok voters are mostly middle class and more politically alert. And one political observer said that voting records show that Bangkokians don't have fixed loyalty to any particular party or political group, so they can change their mind. They may vote for one party today, but in the next general election, they may vote for another political party. Yeah.
Well, it's true that no single political party has dominated Bangkok unchallenged, either in national or local politics. And when it comes to local politics, the gubernatorial and city council elections, personality tends to count more than party affiliations. I mean, as we know, both Chadchart and Mallika were independent candidates.
Yeah. In the case of Mallika, as we mentioned, she outshone her competitors with her personality and style of campaigning. Equally important, political observers point out that she was seen as the alternative for voters who would not vote for either Chadchart or Chaiwat of the People's Party.
Yeah, I guess political observers believe that Mallika was able to tap into conservative voters who detest what they see as the People's Party anti-establishment platform, while also being unimpressed by Chadchart's performance.
One voter told Thai PBS World that she decided to vote for Mallika partly because of her energetic campaigning and partly because of her dislike of both Chadchart and Chaiwat. In Chaiwat's case, she said it was more his party that she disliked.
So what kind of bearing do the results of the Bangkok elections have on the People's Party? At this point, you might wonder. Political observers believe that it would be too premature to conclude that the party is losing its electoral base in Bangkok. Bangkok's local elections have to do more with the bread and butter issues affecting people's everyday life. So things like flooding, congestions, pollutions, traffic, and transport problems.
So in the gubernatorial election, voters would go for individual candidates they believe are best equipped to deal with these problems, the problems we just mentioned, flooding, congestion, pollution, traffic, and transport problems. And the same approach applies to the city council elections, in which voters would vote for candidates they are more familiar with, candidates who are seen as being more responsive to their needs.
But on the bright side, even though the People's Party lost the gubernatorial election, it still can take comfort from the fact that it did quite well in the city council elections. As we said, the party won as many as 20 seats out of 50 seats up for grabs. It won only 14 seats 4 years ago. The Bangkok Metropolitan Council is the legislative and oversight branch, functioning as a local parliament. So its 50 elected district representatives are tasked with passing city ordinances, scrutinizing the governor's policy, and approving municipal budgets.
But the next challenge for the People's Party is whether it will be able to claim the chairmanship of the city council, which is a very important post for the domestic politics. The party needs to get enough support from other parties or groups to form a majority in the council in order to lay claim to its chairmanship. Political analysts do not discount the possibility of the rest of the newly elected councillors to gang up against the People's Party to deny it the council chairmanship. So it's not given, it's not something given, the chairmanship.
Yeah, not yet. So one of the political analysts said losing the gubernatorial election is already bad enough, but not being able to get the chairmanship of the city council would be an ultimate defeat for the People's Party. We just have to see what will happen. So we have been talking so far about the election results for the Bangkok Metropolitan Council members. Another fact that we can't ignore in this discussion is the so-called Ban Yai. The influence of the Ban Yai again. Yeah. Obviously, the Bangkok voters have different preference at national and local elections, but you know, we can give you an example of why we say Ban Yai, interestingly, seems to have more influence.
No, at the local level, even in the city like Bangkok, the Ban Yai or the families of powerful politicians still play a very significant role.
Yeah, well, we're going to give you an example. Look at this picture. This is Somchai Wesa Rattakul. This is the Bangkok Metropolitan Council candidate who received the highest number of votes in Sunday's election. So he got 51,874 votes. Now his victory illustrates how Ban Yai, or Thailand's influential local political families, continue to play a significant role in shaping voters' preferences. Now, this time, he ran under the group called Pheu Thai Life. But take a look at another picture from 2019. This is when he ran as a candidate for Bangkok Council member under the Democrats Party banner. So that's the fact of Thai politics. I mean, Ban Yai will always be Ban Yai regardless of where they are.
That's true, that's true. Somchai has spent more than 20 years working closely with community leaders to drive grassroots development in district of Sai Mai. He previously served multiple terms as the Bangkok Metropolitan Council member for Sai Mai, building a long-standing presence in the area. Other than Somchai, members of Ban Yai who ran successfully include well-known families like Muang Siri, Pinit Kanchana Chusak, and Yu Bamrung. All right.
Yeah.
So these are some of the examples of the more outstanding Ban Yai that play a very important role in both national and local elections.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, this is the pattern which is also reflected in the Pattaya City Council election. I'm sure you're familiar with surnames like Kun Ploom and Ngam Pichet. It should ring a bell, right?
Yeah.
And this is the challenge that a newcomer like the People's Party is facing.
All right, we will end this week's program with what is seen by the Thai media as an emergence of potential conflicts in the ruling Phumchai Thai Party. And as we all know, that Prime Minister Anutin had just returned from accompanying their Majesties, the King and Queen, on a state visit to France. And among the questions that Anutin had to address on his first full day back at work was about a reported fallout between him and the most powerful figure in his Phumchai Thai Party.
People are always going to speculate. We're talking once again about Nevin Chitchop, the so-called headmaster of the ruling party. Nevin holds no formal position in Phumchai Thai Party, but is widely known as its supreme leader.
I see. Thai media have speculated that one conflict has to do with recent transfers of some senior bureaucrats in the Interior Ministry. Don't forget the fact that Kun Anutin, who is Prime Minister, is concurrently Interior Minister and is said to have to contend with interest groups in Phumchai Thai Party over several senior appointments in recent weeks.
He tends to have to juggle a lot. Party insiders told Thai PBS World that there are no indications of direct conflicts between Anutin and Nevin, but those rocking the boat are people in their inner circles.
Yeah. What these insiders are trying to suggest is that the people who are rocking the boat are not the top level leaders of the party, but the people around them that are making noises.
As we have been saying, the Phumchai Thai Party now has the biggest concentration of the so-called Ban Yai, or families of local power brokers who are instrumental in helping it win the recent general elections. And it's common that, to that point, they would demand their shares of the post-election spoils. The challenge for Anutin is how to judge these competing interests, especially when it comes to appointments of senior positions in various ministries?
No, one of the insiders told Thai PBS World that such conflicts are a price that the party has to pay for growing too fast. Right? Phum Chai Thai, of course you still remember, was just a medium-sized party prior to the last general elections in February this year. But thanks to the support from the network of so-called Ban Jai, the party emerged the biggest winner in the election. Political observers believe that despite the media speculation, it doesn't look like there are any serious problems between Anutin and Nevin, because the two need each other. But the noises we have heard mostly come from the people around these two people. So for the immediate future, Anutin and Nevin still need to continue to accommodate each other, despite the differences.
Yeah, Anutin himself tried to play down the reported internal party conflicts as well. He was asked about the reports that some groups in Phum Chai Thai party are rocking the boat, and he has this to say. He said, "I dare them to act up. Don't you know how many of them have been reprimanded and put down like roasted chickens?"
Anutin did not. It was the most quoted statement from Anutin so far since he returned from France. But Anutin did not elaborate. But what he said is taken by the media to refer to how some groups in Phum Chai Thai party have been restrained or put on notice for stirring things up in the past few weeks.
So Anutin was trying to impress the media that he is still in charge, in a way. But we have to say that there is no smoke without fire, right? There are certainly rumblings within the party, but definitely not to the point of an open confrontation between the rival groups yet.
Now, the party insiders that we referred to earlier did admit that there were some differences among the top leaders of the party, but they are not on the verge of breaking up, something like that. No.
The more people, the more problems. That's nature, isn't it? And this is something we need to keep an eye on for sure. But yeah, we'll bring it more to you as it becomes available. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a good weekend.
Okay, see you.